Hey everyone, welcome back, and let's continue our cosmetics and unlock discussion. Today we'll be taking a look at the paid items in Gears 5, what issues I see, and where I'd like to see things go. I want to start out with the pricing, and just get this out of the way. As I've stated many times before, I simply don't pay for aesthetics. It's not something that I really find much value in, and it's just not worth it to me. I do know a lot of people who are willing to spend the money though, and I've seen many people discussing their views on prices. Based on what I've seen, these are my thoughts. You can read the screen, you can pause it if you want to read all the stuff. I'm not going to dive deep into each one of these, but I do want to hit on a few specifics. Obviously, I have no issue with any of these being free, either as rewards in the tour or just general supply things. The prices listed here are just the guidelines for what I would consider to be the max acceptable prices if they're in the store. Many of the epic designed characters need to be completely recreated by the Coalition. They can't just port over the old models, they basically need to do it from the ground up. This means it could get pretty expensive for them to develop. That said, I think that most of these are things that fans would come to expect from a new game, and thus I believe they should be free. Jack skins are probably another one of the big things on characters that need to be hit on. Jack is only playable in one mode. I feel his skins should be priced accordingly. Weapons are a pretty self-explanatory thing. Buy in bulk and save, but individually they're not worth that much. Animated is more expensive than static, and some simple stuff should just be reserved as free items. Then of course you've got simple stuff like marks, emotes, executions, and sprays. Again, if you read the screen, I don't think there's anything too surprising here. But I want to reiterate, I have no idea what the prices should be. I did show some trends in regards to legacy expectations, intricacies of the skins, and the relative value compared to each other though. So while I don't know what the value should be, I think there's something to be said about the relative value, and currently I think TC's missing the mark. I don't want this to be about pricing though. Let's move on and hit on what I feel is the underlying theme of issues with the Gears 5 cosmetic system, and that is FOMO. The fear of missing out is, in my opinion, a predatory approach to sales in which the seller can increase prices by giving the illusion of scarcity of items. We currently have a system that features a weekly rotation of items. Originally, the Coalition said that they had no plans to have the store items return once they've passed through, which is like textbook definition artificial FOMO, but luckily that's changed. We're still not seeing much cycle back through though. This is basically the cornerstone of what drove my proposed solution. Plain and simple, we should have a true store for items, and not just a rotating display shelf. Every operation, we get tons of new items coming into the store. Just as with the tour and supply, let's just add these new paid items in bulk to the store. The store will become this new thing that grows with each operation. Just list everything out. No time limit, FOMO-inducing BS. Want a Baird skin? Yeah, filter down to just Baird, show his skins. Want a Lancer skin? Filter to Lancer. How about Hypno skins? Filter down to any weapon that has Hypno option. Want to see bulk sets? Sure. Individual skins? You got it. Going back to the store analogy, I said it shouldn't just be a display shelf with a few items, but that doesn't mean a display shelf is bad. Maybe still have a weekly rotation that's featured. This week we're featuring these 5 items. They're available year-round, but this week they're 10% off, or whatever. Hey, maybe even have special bundles that cycle through occasionally. This is a system that eliminates the predatory FOMO atmosphere. I'm sure there's some items that the Coalition might want to limit to certain times of year. Maybe some Christmas skins are only on sale during the month of December or something. An important thing here though, is that I don't think any of these should be permanently time-locked exclusive. You don't need to have a be here on this day on this year type thing. Sure, have this week type things like for Christmas, but not a Christmas 2020 type thing. Most of those would be earnable or free anyway, so I'm going to hit on those later this week. It's a pretty simple solution, but let's recap a bit. What does this system accomplish? Well, first and foremost, it alleviates the FOMO atmosphere that the Coalition's creating. You no longer need to worry about, oh, is this thing still going to be available next week, or, oh man, what if next week's thing is better than this week's? The other thing that it does is that it still allows them to have spotlights and feature content. I'm completely fine with them spotlighting some stuff, but just don't make that the only thing in the store. It also keeps everything visible, so people who may have been gone for a while know exactly what's available. And lastly, it keeps things relevant. TC spent a certain amount of time and, let's face it, money creating these items. There's no reason that it needs to only be in the store for a week. Leave it visible forever, and let the revenue keep coming in. There's other benefits to this store as well, but I'm going to save those for Friday's video. Once we start looking at the cosmetic landscape as a whole, things really start to fall into place and make sense. Be sure to tune in on Friday to catch that. In the meantime, go ahead and subscribe so that you can catch Wednesday and Thursday's video, and drop this a like if you think we earned it. Also, I'm curious to hear your thoughts, both on my proposed store system and on the prices that I proposed. Go ahead and leave your thoughts down below in the comments or tag me on Twitter. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.